Wherever you are, welcome back to Ride to the Sun. I'm Andre, and today we're going to talk about the 2023 Triumph Tiger 1200 Rally Explorer versus my old 2019 Africa Twin Adventure Sports, because a friend of the channel asked me to do this video and asked me what I thought about both bikes and which one I liked the most. I no longer have the Africa Twin, but I still have the Rally Explorer. So let's talk about it. So welcome back. So it's a little warm out in Central Virginia in June. It gets quite hot here. What do I like about the Tiger 1200 a little bit more than the Africa Twin? So follow me and I'll show you in front of the bike. I think it's the frontal view of this vehicle. I like that beak look. I think it's an awesome look for this particular vehicle as compared to the Africa Twin. But at the same time, it's all relative as to what you like. So just know that. And it's functional. The idea of this being so easy to just lift up and down, that's the extent of it. And this particular piece of equipment added quite a bit of wind protection, believe it or not. At first I didn't think it was going to be working. And then on the highway I tried a few different positions and got a lot less wind resistance. So you got to play with this. If you bought this and you don't like it, put it back in your bike, go out for a long ride at high rated speeds, highway speeds, and see how it works for you in different positions. That's what I had to do. I almost took it off and put it away. I didn't think it was functional. So this is something you're gonna have to play with. So if you have one, I'm not telling you to go out and buy one, but if you do have one, go out, check it out, give it another chance, and position it different ways and see what you like. And the wind resistance from this bike to the Africa Twin. Now the Africa Twin, what you'll find is you get a lot of air coming from here and up around you. A lot of wind buffeting on the Africa Twin as compared to this bike. It's a lot less on this bike. This may be fool's gold on my behalf, but if you have an Africa Twin or had an Africa Twin, chime in on that, and you know about the Triumph and you know the difference. Let me know what you think. But for me, I think this is a lot less wind coming through this tunnel here. Although the tunnel seems comparable to the Africa Twin, but I'm seeing a lot less wind resistance. So something here to think about. I think in that aspect, this is better, because that was one of the reasons I got rid of the Africa Twin, because of that wind buffing. I couldn't get it to go away. Even though I had all the different mods done to it, it was just beating me up every time I got on the highway. So that's one for the Tiger. Also, the second thing I'm thinking when I think of the Africa Twin and this particular vehicle, I wanted this because of the technology. And also I wanted the 2019 Africa Twin because of its technology at the time. Okay, I liked it because it was simple. Whenever you are in the world, it wouldn't matter. If you had a problem, you know, you'd be covered. Anyone could work on that particular vehicle. Of course, there's pros and cons, right? When you look at the screen, you know, it's modern. It's the next big thing. It pops up fast. It's colorful. There's a world of technology in this particular machine as compared to the 2019 Africa Twin. But they each have their place. It depends on what you want. Do you want the more modern, the electronic suspension, where I think they're comparable, because of my 2019 Africa Twin, I had gone to the full Olean set. But the problem is, well, not so much the problem, it's a give and go. On this one, the computer's setting it for you in milliseconds, right? With the Africa Twin, you have to set the sag, and you have to, in essence, find ways to make it comfortable to you and your passenger every time you change something. Okay, with this, it's a constant. The machine is forever doing the dialing for you. The third thing I think is the power. Although the African Twin is more of a middleweight and this is more of a heavyweight, mostly comparable to the 1250 GS, I can see how people look at the Africa Twin and this particular bike and try to compare them. The triple in this particular vehicle is a much smoother engine, of course more powerful. You know, it's a bigger engine. But the Africa Twin, although I haven't had any issues, I do believe in the power of Honda they tend to be very reliable. Partly the reason why they're so I'm not going to say so underpowered, but they are less power in that particular engine to be had than there is in the Triumph Tiger 1200. So these two vehicles, although on the surface look comparable, it's going to depend on what you like. But for me, if you ask me which one I like better, it's a toss-up. If I'm going down to South America up Continental Highway, I probably go for the Africa Twin. It's simpler. It's workmanlike. It does its job, and there's no frills. You get what you pay for, in essence, and that's for the Honda. It's quality. For the Triumph, it's quality as well. But I think for the Rally Explorer, there's a lot of technology in it. It's just a lot of opportunity for things to go wrong. I'd rather go with the simpler machine if I'm going away from home for an extended period of time. So just something to think about. But for me, I think I'll go with Tiger 1200 in terms of overall what I like the most, which machine I like the most. But I didn't want to get rid of my Africa Twin. I really didn't. Sometimes I wish I hadn't, because only reason I got rid of it is you can only have so many bikes in the garage. So I had to get rid of it, and I didn't want to let it sit outside. So, but if I had to choose today, I'll choose the Tiger 1200, only for one reason, and that's the suspension. If my wife rides with me, which she won't, she rides her own bike, then you probably think, well, that's not a reason to pick it. But if anybody rides with me, or if I find myself having to load the bike up, the machine is making all the calculations. I don't have to reset sag. I don't have to do any of that with the old leans, which it didn't come with. I actually had to add that to the Africa Twin. So that's another thing. So when you think about it, that's probably the main reason, having that electronic suspension to where, you know, it's done for you on the fly. Of course, the extra power doesn't hurt. So, and that's the second reason. The third one, and I didn't think I was going to like it as much, is the technology. Okay, it's the radar feature in the back, your blind spot. It's world changing. You know, anytime I'm on the road, I'll just look, or somebody's too close, I'll just look. Because if you ever watch me ride, my head is on a swivel. I'm always looking all around me at all times, and this calms me down a little bit more, especially if I'm in an area where drivers are a little bit more aggressive. So I hope that answers the question of which one do I like the most. It is a Triumph Tiger, but there's nothing wrong with the Africa Twin. I would buy another one today. And the last reason why I didn't buy another Africa Twin is in 2020, I'm talking about my 2019 Africa Twin, by the way. In 2020, they came out with electronic suspension. So I know they do have it now. So if I do put something else on the in the garage when this is gone, if it's not a 1250 GS, it will be an Africa Twin. So thanks for chiming in and commenting and asking me to chime in on it. I'll put up with a friend of the channel was that asked a question. So thanks a lot. Do comment, like, and subscribe. This is Ride to the Sun. I'm Andre. Come back and see us. One love.